It's about passion, about realizing your dreams, to love what you do and to improve oneself further. Every day a little bit better, staying hungry. Because what defines success? Why are some people more successful than others? What makes a difference? Why are some people able to handle pressure and to deal with adversity better than others? This is interesting to me. Hello and welcome to 74 once more. My name is Dieter Kalt and this podcast wants to take a look behind the mask of extraordinary people who are willing to share their story and their experiences to inspire and to help others. Today's guest is Petri Matikainen, a championship-winning ice hockey coach from Finland. Currently he's working in Austria and is just starting in his second season as the head coach of EP14, the 31-time championship-winning organization, and a team he led to winning the title in the past season. Matikainen can look back at many years of experience in the sport, and he is used to lifting trophies. Starting to play in Finland, Petri moved to Canada to compete in junior hockey for the Austria Generals, winning the J. Ross Robertson Cup. Back in Finland, he immediately won his first professional title with Tampere, one of the most prestigious teams in the Finnish league. Oh yeah, during that time I forgot to mention the gold medal he was winning with the Finnish U20 Junior National-Team. Petri's career as a player also led him to play in Germany for the Berlin Capitals, in Austria, where he finished with EP14, the same team he is coaching now. As a coach, Petri Matikainen has gathered almost 16 years of experience up to date, and success keeps following his path. From coaching juniors in Finland to winning 2 awards for Coach of the Year in the Finnish top professional league, to clinching the gold medal at the World Championships with Team Finland, acting as an assistant coach. He moved on to become a head coach in the KHL, the Russian professional league, with Avantgarde Omsk. And then on to coaching Graz 99ers in Austria, and then back to Slovan Bratislava to the KHL, back to Finland coaching Pelicans Lahti, and now finally winning a championship with ECKC in Klagenfurt, Austria. I am sure this guy has a lot of stories to tell, with all the experiences in so many different countries and cultures over the years. Being a coach, leading people, teaching, and mentoring are the most essential skills. And in this interview, I try to dig deep into the mind of a person who seems to have figured out all the secret ingredients of success. Let's hear what we can find out. Thanks for letting me into the holy grail of your office. You're just back from a summer vacation or some part in preparation for the new season. And today I want to go deep into a championship coach's mind. And not so much talk about the hockey specific part, but more about the league or the club. For example, those are details that maybe some people interest. But not me, because for me it's about the passing along experience and learning. I come from the same world. I have some kind of experience similar to you, not so much in the coaching, but you come from a different culture, a different mindset. And I'm really interested in the more basic principles of coaching, the why, the philosophy, the motivation, and the person behind the bench. So your values, your beliefs, your struggle, this kind of stuff. But we have a short history together as a player. That was in the season 98-99. We played together. You were here the season before already.
Yes.
And we lost to the finals. God damn it.
To Villa.
Of course, it had to be Villach. You know, of course. But I have, one of the biggest memories of that time in that season was a goal that you scored in Villach. And I was standing in the crease, and I think it was maybe it was Herbie Homberger cross-checking me in the back.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, there was a big memory.
Yeah.
So we had this kind of memory together, a really talented team, some really outstanding players, but we didn't manage to win. And we lost connection for some time, but we had some contact over the years. You came back as a coach to Austria after a couple of years. And we talked sometimes on the phone when I was in the different positions about exchanging information and about possible future collaborations, because I like to keep track on people. That's what you have to do in the business. Who fits the philosophy. Who would you like to work together with in the future? So there might be something coming up, and it actually did a couple of years later, and a couple of phone calls later. And we talked about the possible job opening when I was still the sport director here in Klagenfurt. That was interesting. You knew about the club, you knew about the philosophy. Yeah. So that's why we were interested. And just before you arrived for your job interview, I got fired. So there were special times when you arrived, but that was about that. That's everything I want to talk about me and the situation. Just a little history where we come from. Yeah. But now I'm doing something totally different, and I'm really interested not about the water under the bridge of the Steinerne Brücke here in Klagenfurt. That's the history. Yeah. Today we want to talk about you.
Okay.
So, and what I'm really interested is you had a career as a player. Mm-hmm. You played for the Finnish National-Team as up to under 20. Yeah. For some years. Then you played in Finland. Then you came to you played the junior in North America. Yeah. You played in Finland for some years, and you finished a career here in Austria. After that year that we played together, actually. Yes. And then it was a year break, and that's where I start to get really interested. Mm-hmm. Why did you stop playing, first of all? Mm-hmm. And how did you become a coach? What was the why behind it? Was it always the plan? And tell me a little bit about the transition.
Well, I was maybe 32, 33 at the time when I was here with you. And sometimes, somehow I got fed up with the not with the hockey, but preparing myself for the games, and it took so much energy out of me. Somehow I felt that I wasn't thinking that now I'm gonna retire, but I said to myself after the season that I'm gonna go with the flow, and we went back to Finland, and I was during the summer I was building a house or constructions in my house, and I didn't think hockey at all, and somehow just it happened just like that. I didn't have any passion of hockey anymore, and because of that, getting ready every day, getting your nap, getting your things, getting not maybe physically ready, but getting mentally ready, and the type of player I was at the time. It took so much out of me at the time that I just thought that let's see what happens. Yeah. And actually I wasn't even contacting my agent or anybody, and it just happened. Yeah. Then I applied for the police academy. I got in. It just happened, but this is the thing here. When you're with the hockey for many years, you're professional, and then you quit, and then you get some air and breathing. I didn't do anything physically for a year. I said, I don't have to go for a run. I don't have to do things. I don't have to do weights. I just do what I want. But my kids were 7, 8, 9. At the time. I drove them to the rinks, and they play hockey, junior hockey. So I was watching the drills behind the glass, and I thought that, holy shit, this could be done much better, on the ice. Like, too many people are standing around. They don't get repetition there at all. They're just holding on the lines, and they get here and there little things. and Nani, this could be designed much better. So I kept on watching, and then I said to the coach that could I come on the ice just to help you, and I'll help you. So we could, and I told them that we could maybe design these things a little bit better, that the boys get more repetition, and they're always moving, and there's a ideology like behind it, and that's Then I was stuck again.
Back to the cold drink.
With the cold, back to the cold drink. So I started to be an assistant coach for him there, and I was there every day. After the police academy, I went to the practices. I ran the practices. And actually, I really liked it because the head coach gave me free hands. I could do things what I want. I could talk to them what I want with the experience, with the little kids, and they really liked me, and that's what happened. I got into this again, and I thought during my playing years, I said to myself, I'm never gonna be the coach. This is a dog's work, getting people ready and getting people ready for the games, and tactically and mentally and physically, and I'm never gonna do that. Then I got out of hockey for a little while, got in again, and here I am I'm still coaching, and that's what happened. I graduated the police academy as a constable, so I have a degree from that. Then I applied to Finnish Hockey Academy in Vierumäki. It's a 3.5 year school, like a real hockey school, real sports school. I applied for that, and I got in. I moved my family to Vierumäki, just a small village around, there's nothing around it, and I went in. I started to prepare myself as a coach. And I liked the school really much because the school was more of that you don't study that how you do the things. You invent the things on your own, and you represent them to the teachers. I really liked it, because then you can use your own head, and you can talk to different people. There were great people who were giving lectures outside from hockey, different sports. They came in for a day. We visited different things, and there I started to build my philosophy as a coach, and there was free. The most important for me is that I could be able to think on my own and do the things on my own, and that's what happened. There I was. I applied for that, and I got in, and I had big passion, and I still do. But I at the time I thought that I'm gonna be the best coach in the world. I had vision in my head right away when I started to get into the coaching world. That how could it be done? I have had great coaches during my career, the best Finnish coaches, and Russian coach, Swedish coach, Czech coach, Austrian coach, North American coaches. So I had quite a bit experience of how they do the things, and of course I took something from them here and there, little things, but the main thing was that I built my own ideology and start to build that and trust that, and here I am.
There's some things that you said that made me laugh because I had the chance to work as an assistant coach with Krista Olsson after my career was finished. It was not planned, although I had my coaching degree done a couple of years before, just in case. And Krista said exactly the same thing. No chance in hell I'm gonna be coach. That's the worst job in the world. Those idiots I've been working with. I never want to be that. And then he was injured, And as a player, he jumped in as he was asked to support the team. He was the captain of the team, and he kind of got into that and developed a new passion. And then ended up being a great coach. You know, just the personality, and he also said the same thing. You know, he had the chance to do something and not being told what to do and how to think, but to develop his own philosophy and the freedom to develop something and to work together as a team again. And a little bit like the Scandinavian style of putting teams together and developing something. That's what I liked so much when I was in Sweden as a player. You were asked, okay, sit together with your line, talk about this stuff, you know, how you want to play PP. And the coach was just, you know, like a bystander. And he was just saying, okay, what do you think here and why? And if it works, hey,
fine.
You know, just get the thing done. If it doesn't work,
way to do it.
If it doesn't work, I'm going to kick your ass. You know, or you're not going to play. You know, the worst. You know, somebody else is going to take your job. So sit together, put your heads together, put your mind in, live it, feel it, smell it, breathe it. You know, and I loved it so much. This kind of approach. Because the way I grew up was, you know, the Russian, the old Eastern European. Hey, the coach says you jump, you jump. Put your brains, let them, you know, work. This kind of stuff. So. That's what when you said that's how you built your philosophy, and I want to ask you about philosophy a little bit later. But you mentioned great coaches you work with that influenced you on the way. Who were those great coaches, and what was special about them?
Well, Paul Ferriero, when I was in Ontario Hockey League, I think he's dead now, or at least he's sick, but he you know, I still remember him. I was a young kid, but how he approached the team, how he talked to the team, how he had, you know, charisma, you know, how he felt strong in front of the team, how he gave us confidence and put the fear away, you know, those kind of things. Not so much tactically, but that's what I learned from him. How to never quit, and you know, Canadian kind of things. And then of course then I had great Finnish coaches, Hannu Aravirta, Hannu Jortikka, you know, big, I don't have to say asshole, but you know, like a demanding kind of a guy. Then Hannu Aravirta, kind of a gentle kind of a way to coach. So and then other Finnish great coaches too. Rauno Korpi, very emotional. You might know, him. You know, physical. Rauno's approach was, when you are in shape, you're gonna be good. So many great Finnish coaches. And then you mentioned a Russian way to do it. I had Anatoly Bogdanov. Oh man, I hated it. Because it was, you jump, you do things. It was all controlled, control. Never trust the team. You know, it's still the same way in Russia. Never trust the team, never trust the player. But that was good experience for me too. You know, I hated it. I have to say I hated it at the time.
And that was when I had in my Russian experiences through my dad, who was in the business. As a player, as a coach, and then as a manager and the president of the federation. I had the chance when I was young to look over the fence and to go to training camps where somebody else couldn't go. And I took my friends with me, like my line mates in junior and all this kind of stuff. So we were in Moscow training with my big heroes. We were working with Krylia Sovietov. I think that team is not even existent. And the guy who was running it was Igor Dmitriev. And he was the assistant coach for many years in the Russian national team with Viktor Tikhonov, one of the biggest name ever. Really strict guy. Like there was the golden age of the Russian, Russian national teams when they were winning everything. And this guy, he was the nicest person in the world. And that's how he ran his club. And that was so different. They had to work their ass off, but he was such a nice person. They loved him for being a nice, and they did everything for him. And I'm like, okay, that's totally different than what I thought. That's really what I liked. But I had the chance to see how they worked, and they were working really hard. There was too much. It was too much for me as a kid. I wasn't used to it. You took all those experiences,
Yeah.
And that leads into the next question.
Yeah, but you know, I want to continue.
Yeah.
I had also Austrian guy, you know, Buck.
Yeah.
Here, and then I had a Czech guy. I really liked the Czech. You know, there was a good flow in the practices, and how he ran the practices. We got better. Our movement got better. A lot of puck possession, and you know, and German coach I had when I was in Berlin. So he was strict and kind of risiko, you know, kind of a so.
Was it Heinz Zach you had?
No, it was Usdorf,
okay.
The father Usdorf at the time. But anyway, you know, quite many different, you know, coaches influences from different things, and I thought to myself when I was in the school that hey, I'm gonna build my own. I know how to. I wanna mostly focus on leading the team. And of course the tactics is important, but leading the team, getting out of the people the most, getting good atmosphere in the team, getting everybody trusted and getting everybody into the system and you know. But now you can ask.
No, that's really interesting what you say, because not everybody has this kind of approach that he's taking the best experience of everything and blends it and okay, what do I believe in? What have I experienced? What did I like? What did I hate?
Yeah.
And put your own philosophy together. So, but what's, you know, because some people think it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And they never change. And it worked for some time for many people.
Yeah.
But not anymore, I think.
No.
So what is your philosophy, to be specific?
Well, I can start with you have to have a philosophy at the first place. You know, you have to have it in your head. Then you kind of talk it out to the team, and you repetition. You talk it out to the team. You start to talk it out. Then it goes to the actions of the team. You know, all the times they have to be combined. Everything, what you believe in has to be combined into the actions of your talk. So it's a talk, actions on the ice, in the locker room, anywhere, you know, and then you get those actions into the reality. You see the team starting to, you know, talk the same way, in a way think the same way. On the bench, they maybe said, hey, remember this, what you have said to them. They start to communicate the same way, you know, like what the philosophy is. And then it goes to the habits, you know, habits of the philosophy, of winning philosophy. So talk, action, habits goes into the system. You know, it's hard to explain to you. So it's this and that and this. But when you have a philosophy, then you talk it out. You demand those things into the action. Then the team learns it, and they become habits. What you teach them, they get in the blood vessels, and they start to talk it out the same way, demanding one another the same way, and then it goes to the winning habits. That's my philosophy. It's on the wall there. We can go and check it out. But you know, it's all about that. And then when you have that path, on the side of the path, there's all those things that you have to have your role in it. What's your role? Your specific role. Key team chemistry, very important to me. Everybody's equal. We talk it out. The things. I'm really a straight up kind of a coach. I say the good things, I say the bad things, but I mostly want to say the good things, but I also say very direct. the improved or the things that you could do better. And I want to get the mixture of the team that they think the same way, and at the end we have the winning values. It's all about values to me. If you're not into the system, if you're not as an individual player understand this path, and you don't do the things for the team, I can't live with that. Like. He's not valuable to me in a way into this system, because he doesn't understand. He has to understand the values of the cards, because I'm here, and it took me 6 months to teach them. Last year when I was here, I was at the start. I was like, oh man, these guys are into my mind. They are out of shape. First of all. They don't know the system, how we do. They don't know the values of habits, of winning habits of the game that they can trust and rely on and demand those things from one another. And there's no way we can be able to win at the start. That's the way I thought. And it took me 6 months to pound them in. I pound the things in every day. I pound the same kind of all the time. The picture of the ideology was behind me when I talked to the team every day. It's not once in a while. It's all the time. Your poster, how you act, what you say, you gotta be. It's a tough job, because you gotta be there, like focusing every day, because you don't want to lie to the team or do one thing this day and another thing next day. You have to have the ideology in your backbone so strongly that you get up on the morning at 3 a.m. You know what to say, because it has to be in. The philosophy has to be in you. It can't be written out and now we're gonna do this, or put some poster on the wall for the boys and you do it for one day. No, you do it every day. You live it. You live it as a coach. You live it 24/7. I don't know if you got it, but that's the way
I totally get it. I totally get it, and I agree 100%. Where I have to challenge you is some things, when I was thinking about my career, and there's big words, trust. Yeah. We have to trust each other. We have to rely on each other, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And sometimes it made me laugh, the older I got, because that's not something that somebody, just like you said, can write on the board. Yeah. It's something that has to be built. So when somebody new comes in, in order to get everybody on board, that's the special skill.
That's the special skill.
But what happens if some guys don't give a shit, or don't like it, or because the role might change, they don't accept it? How do you make them, and what happens? What's the biggest downfall? Where do you run into problems as a coach?
Well, it's a good question. Now like this season, we only have few guys who come in. There's Haudum and Ganal. The teaching starts right away when we start. If a new guy comes in, I teach him. I teach the values to him in few weeks. I keep on going. I keep on talking and keep on demanding. Keep on the ice. I whistle the stop it. I give him special things that, hey, on the video, talk it out, the mental aspect, the value of the team, and eventually, if he doesn't get it, or if he doesn't like it, he cannot play. Coach has always the control of the, you control the board of playing with playing time. That's one thing till you learn it, and till you learn it, until you motivate yourself into the system, into the values of the now Kaatse, or values of Pelicans where I was before, or and sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes shorter, depends of the guy. And last year I had one import who just, it took me whole year to get into the system. He was into the system for a little while, then he slipped away again. And every time I started again with him. Every time. I had, we had videos with him, I had talks with him, I called him home, I went to visit his home, to get him into the system again. And of course, you need the leadership group, to teach the thing. That's really important. You have to have 7, 8 guys into your group who are fully behind you and fully understand what you are going to do and what your actions, why you do this. They explain it to the rest of the team. So it can't be only the coach. You have to teach the leadership group to buy your thing, and then they also give the words and the things to them and teach them. It's not so simple kind of a thing that you only do that, or you put the video, or you talk it out, or it takes time to get guys into the things, and like this guy, he said, I never played like this before. I've never thought things like that. This is totally new to me. So I knew it's gonna take time, to get into the system. And it's the same way you teach the trainer. Actually, you teach the GM. You should teach the board, so they all would know what is the ideology behind you and why you're doing the decisions what you do, based on what, That's the whole story here.
That's a good cue that you gave me, because you're not only talking about 25 players, you talk about a whole organization.
Yes.
And that includes everybody, not only everybody who can either support the whole program, or can aggressively work against it.
Yes, and if somebody gives an interview, even from the GM or in Finland GM or Finnish GM or whoever, and puts it to the paper something which is not true or which is out of the philosophy, I'm after him. I don't care. I go after him and said, what the fuck are you doing? This is not the way we think. So the board and the GM and the sport things, they all need to be combined by that ideology that you guys go with. And I'm really strict on that.
What you're talking about is so a lot of power for the coach to pull through.
Get the team going. I don't want to control everything. No, I just want to coach. But the coaching, the ideology of the team has to be very clear. Very clear. I would hate to be a GM or sports manager in a way, to be on the phone every day. And I want to coach. I want to control my team, that they understand that the way we can be able to maybe be successful, that we build the bonds, really the brotherhood bonds, one another. We understand the values of the playing, what's important, and especially in here in Europe, the guys rely on the points. You know, they get score a goal, get an assist. I don't give a shit about that. Who is the guy who scores the goals, who gets the, you know, I don't I value different things. I value the team all the time. It's a big thing for me that I value the team, the winning ways all the time. Of course, I respect the guys who score the goals, but I respect the guys who block fucking 100 shots as much as I do the scoring guy.
Is that
that's the different thing here?
Yes, it's true. But that's the system a little bit. That's where it comes from. Where in my opinion, in many places, players have to develop this kind of way to protect their own. Because there's people running teams that don't have a clue.
That's right.
Or don't come from the sport. Right. Don't have the but. Winning organizations, is that something that we can agree on? That winning organizations over time, they have those kind of values. They understand it. Yes,
and it should be automatic to a winning organization. You know, those values actually should not come from the coach. They should be here. They should stick on the wall. They should be on the board, on the office. When you walk in, you know that how will we live here, what the values are for KC or any other team or whoever. How do we talk, how do we act, how do we do things everywhere.
And then you find the right people that can complement that.
Yes. And then you just do it, you keep on living it. It's fucking easy.
Yeah.
Because you just live through the values what you are done, and you don't go now that way, tomorrow we change the view that way, next week it's that way, you know. And that's what I have here down here. They all know the values. They all know how do I get pissed, why do I get pissed, why I maybe escape them. Somebody has done something, or somebody's not doing the things. Or sometimes how do I go out and give them beer. We go and have a beer together and I pay it. There's a reason. There's always everyday reason for doing things.
But that's the way that you are.
Yeah.
You're authentic.
Yes.
They know what they get.
Yes.
So, and as an athlete, that's how you build respect.
Yeah.
It's in my opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the guy standing in front of you makes mistakes.
No.
But he's the boss anyway.
Yeah.
So, but you can forgive or you can understand. Yes. Everybody makes mistakes, but don't bullshit anybody.
That's right. If I make a mistake, I say like this, boys, sorry, that was my fucking fault. I fucked it up. First, I said, so, and I teach that. I do it because I teach that it's okay to make a mistake. Say it out. Say to the boys that, sorry boys, you know, somebody make a big mistake at the end of the game and we get scored on and we lose. And God, so boys, I will fuck me. I will never do that again. You know, then I said, oh, we are going somewhere, Dieter. Now we are going somewhere. You know, we can say out. It's not a big thing. You know, it's easy thing to say, sorry guys. And I say that to them too. And to my assistant coach too. He tells us, sorry guys, I didn't do my homework good enough. You know?
So how do you build how important is your staff for you?
Really important. Really, really important. I feel that the coaching nowadays, more and more, it's a teamwork. So when I work with him, who's sitting on your he's doing the videos, a lot of videos, preparations, things. We do things together, and He runs half of the practices, so because I want to see, we do many things together, but I am leading the team, you know. I am the leader of the team. Because I have the ideology in my blood. I want to take the team to the direction that I want. And then I really respect my assistant coach. He got into the system great. And he's a big part of the whole thing. So I'm a big believer of coaching staff they're all having responsibilities. I'm not checking out what they do or going behind is he doing right things or not right things. I give the responsibility to them, and he runs the thing. Like in Finland, I had once assistant coach came during the year to my team, another assistant coach. He was there for one day, and next day we had a game. I said to him that you run the PK. He said, what? Yeah, I said, you run the PK. Videos are there. I put the team to the room. I pushed him there, closed the door, walked away. So I kind of put him to the fire. I said, you go on, you deal with the team. You don't know something, ask the boys. Start communicating with the boys right away. That's the way I am.
And the result of that is that everybody has ownership.
That's right. Now you got
no
the
excuses.
Point. Now you got the point. I want them into my system. I want them to know that I trust them. I want them to buy the ideology, and they have a spot, and they are important. And many times I thank my assistant coaches for doing their job in front of the team. Thank you, guys. That was great. The PK was great today. Thank you. Good work.
Yeah.
Almost every week. I keep on telling them here privately, you're so fucking good. I'm really happy with your work. Or sometimes I said, wake the hell up now. You too negative to the team. It's the same way. They maybe get pissed off, but then maybe I call them home again at night. I understand that some guys told me that assistant coach is too negative because you as a head coach are so strong. So he has to understand that you have to kind of live how I communicate with the team, how I am with the team. Assistant coach can't be the same way that after I pound my fist in a way, he comes in and pounds the fist even more. Yeah. He has to approach the team different way.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that I have to teach my staff, that they can read me. If they read me right, I tell them, great, I was pissed today that you were not. You were straight on the point, calm voice. Because I was pissed already. You don't have to be pissed double, Mm-hmm. Those kind of things. It's hard to explain to you like what I do or what I am, just like that,
No, I totally understand. I think the audience understands that too, because that's the reason why I want to talk to you is to see where we think alike. How do you work? How do you approach? And that's it. Learning, constant learning. Yeah. You learn from everybody.
Yeah.
You're not only listening to the guys above you or more important to you. No. You listen to everybody.
Yes.
You listen because there's valuable feedback even in bullshit.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
You learn something.
Yes.
And I think that's a great approach. But you're also just a guy.
Yeah.
You're a person.
Yeah.
You have to be a coach has to be the strong guy for the team. Leadership is a big thing. Yeah. It depends on the group you have, how much of your strong leadership they need and how much is their inside.
That's right.
But you as a private person, you can't go 100. There's only so much energy in the tank yourself.
Yes.
Where do you get your feedback? Where can you release your pressure? Where can you wind down? Because I imagine it can get quite lonely sometimes.
It is, and that's the big problem, especially here in Europe. And that's why my assistant coach, I want that we share things that we can be vulnerable to one another. You know, I try to tell them too that you don't have to be perfect. We're not perfect. We can talk it out, things that we're scared, and we are normal guys. We're not like Jesus Christ's in a way, that we're just the regular guys. I tell the team too, many times, I'm a regular guy. I'm just like you guys. I just try to get us going and try to get us working towards the same goal. It's tough, get the energy every day, but I try to focus myself that, I throw myself front of the team with really open approach, vulnerability, I throw myself like as a human being front of the team, because it's easier that way, that you don't have to act to be somebody. Guys see through that. If I don't act, it's easier for me. And it's a 2.5, 3 hour thing that on the mornings that you do. I try to jog. I try to keep myself fit but in this business, I would need a guy outside, mentor in a way. It could be sometimes good that you could be able to call him and talk things out, how you feel and how you do. Like
a mentor, like a coach somebody
or some leader in the business. Could be anyone who would understand how the things work in the business world or in the sport world. Just a mentor would be good sometimes.
Yeah, I totally understand. So the life as a professional coach.
Yeah.
Is that something? Is it like you thought it would be?
Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of pressure. I knew it that it's a 24/7 job. But pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Was there a time where some things did not work out for you with your philosophy, or you didn't get that kind of role, you didn't get that kind of power to pull through, that kind of support you need?
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
It was tough. It's always tough when you see you feel the team I feel the team so well that I can feel it in front of the team, that are they into it or are they not? Are they accepting the things? Are they buying the things what you try to bring them, or are they not? And I have had teams in past, not here but in the past, that the main leadership group didn't buy the things that I tried to get in, and the result was catastrophe. There's no way you can be successful just at bringing your own thing. You have to get people into the system. They need to buy, they need to like you in a way, or respect you at least. Otherwise, when we go to the really fire places, like a fire situation, I found out that we didn't have anything. We had a great team, but there were issues in the team that I didn't realize during the season. When we went to the playoffs, we got punched out for nothing.
Did you have the support in the teams that you worked with from the outside, from the board, from the people making the decisions over your head? Always, always had that kind of...
Not always, but every time when I've been successful or the team has been successful, there's a good combination of people and support. There has to be support, has to be together kind of a thing to be able to be successful. There has to be. If not, they talk differently, you talk differently. There's a gap. There's no way. And it eventually goes to the team.
Yeah.
It goes to the team.
Mm-hmm. So when you felt this kind of resistance, when you said you have this, obviously you're a guy who has this kind of feeling, and that's not something you can learn in Viromeki or that's something that's in you, that's you, that's why you're successful. How do you approach that? Did you think to yourself, man, it's not working, they're not buying it, I have to be different? Or did you stay on your course and said, okay, that's me, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work?
Yeah.
How did you approach that?
I did it that way, that it's me. First of all, if I see something wrong or something, I try to go upstairs and I try to talk it out. If it's still not, I'm not changing my philosophy, because otherwise, if I do it, I'm so, fucked. So fucked with myself. It's not that I don't want to learn new things, but I have to stick to things that I believe that can be successful factors of success. If I don't believe them, how the team can believe them? So that's why it's so important that the upstairs could be able to get at least a little hint of what you do and what the things that are important to you. They don't fully get it, ever. Some depends of the organization, but that's very, very, really, really important.
When you look back, what were the biggest mistakes, or can you remember one of the moments where you said, what, that was, that's only happens once. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, I'm sometimes too demanding. I'm sometimes too emotional at the moment. The one thing I learned from when I was in Bratislava and the KHL coach and national team coach of Slovakia, 76-year-old Vladimir Vujtek, came into my room over there, and we talked a little bit, and he said, we talked about giving the team, after a bad game, how he does things. A 76-year-old said to me that, Petri, after the bad game, I always, or many times, I say to the team, boys, not now. We sleep overnight and tomorrow. Sometimes I'm furious. I want to get the shit out of my system to the team too quickly, too harsh. In Finland, with one team, I gave so much shit after one game during the night at 3 o'clock in the locker room after the road trip, and I destroyed the whole rest of the season. Personal, not into the person, but personal negative shit. I went through the whole team. Yeah.
You just had to do it.
yeah, whole team.
Yeah,
one by one.
Yeah,
3 o'clock a.m.
And that didn't help.
Didn't help. I destroyed the whole team. Rest of the team of the season. We had a good team. We were okay, but we didn't get the full potential out of it.
You think they lost respect, they lost trust, or what do you think?
Maybe not the respect, but they thought that he's too tough, he's too honest, he's too much, he's too not, he's too negative at the time. This is not fun. He's too serious. He wants to win too much. Sometimes you need to swallow. You need to swallow in front of the team. You can't bring everything to the team. They're really vulnerable, and some of the guys are even more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you really have to be sometimes careful. That's maybe the biggest thing that I try to learn every day.
So is that something that you realized right away after that moment when you got home and you were laying in bed and like, Petri, shut up next time.
I did it again.
Yeah.
Or I was too tough, or I was too harsh, and why did I have to do it now? Why I couldn't be able to, sleep overnight and come with some knowledge.
Yeah.
Why? Not just throwing things. Why you guys? Why? Explain a little bit. A little bit more constructive information to them. That's my biggest thing that I need to. I'm learning it. I try to learn it every day, but sometimes, I'm a human. I told them, like last year, I told them, they called me in Finland, they called me Mr. Not Enough, like I want so much that they called me Petri is not enough, more,
Yeah.
So I am who I am. I'm a little bit like I told them I'm a little bit like John Tortorella in a way.
Yeah.
In a way, I many aspects are similar to him.
Yeah.
But I love them. I explain to them that I do these things that I want that you guys are better, that you understand how good you could be.
Final question. If you look back 20-25 years, with all the experience you have now, what would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's for sure I know so much more than I knew then. But in a way, I am who I am. The way you were 25 years ago, the same values actually are still there. They're still with me on the board, on that rowing boat.
Yeah.
I still go forward with those values. They haven't changed. I have changed. I have been more calm, and I have much more knowledge about the game and how to lead the team and how the things. But there's still you gotta you gotta pay the price to become a real coach. And I'm 53, and I still think that I'm not even close to be a kind of a really good. I'm learning every day, thinking about my team and the things that I should do every day when I'm working. Try to improve as a human being. And that's, it's a constant learning.
I really appreciate you taking the time in a warm room where the air conditioning doesn't work. Here we have to complain about that. Petri, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best for the season.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and I hope this episode was interesting to you and you got something positive out of it. I want to say thank you for all the support so far, and anybody who wants to keep helping me in growing this project 74 once more is very much welcome to do so. Just go to iTunes, write a little review, subscribe, share the links, comment, leave a like. Anything like this will help very much and is much appreciated. You can also find me on Instagram at DieterKalt74 and also on Facebook at 74 once more. There you get the latest news, behind the scenes, footage, and so on. So until then, I hope you guys stay tuned and take it easy.